Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming out to GOGI today. Getting out by going in is what we call it. You know, when I first, and yes, as I said before, I mentioned something about the quality of life being a matter of concern. And yes, it is. Whether we're in prison or our minds are focused in the society on worldly views, worldly events, things that are taking place out there, things that are going on. Performance really is a big problem. You know, performance was a big problem with myself, you know, and that's why I'm in prison. The tools of GOGI have helped me immensely. And struggle is not easy, you know. Struggle can be bearable, yes, but easy, no. You know, and I've come to learn that going on over 26 years of my life being incarcerated. We say, boss of my brain, belly breathing, 5-second light switch, positive thoughts, positive words, positive actions, claim responsibility, let go, forgive. What if? Reality check and ultimate freedom. Ultimate freedom means setting myself free, you know, and making myself safe from harming myself and from harming anyone. Making people safe, but first by making myself safe, by placing myself at a far distance from my own behavior, first and foremost of all. I have to distance myself from my own behavior in order to come to reality check that, hey, I'm victimizing people, I'm traumatizing people, I'm impacting people's lives. More than I realized, it was my son, my daughter, my grandma, people who I dearly love and respect. So now I find GOGI, and I use the GOGI tools. I carry my GOGI toolbox with me everywhere I go for the occurrences and circumstances of life that I'm going to be confronted by. Every day, no matter what, whether I want it or not. Occurrences and circumstances of life are going to come to me, step up to me boldly, and slap me in my face, hey, here I am, what are you going to do about it? And it's up to me to use positive thoughts, positive words, positive actions, and claim responsibility. Be responsible for my actions and reactions today. And the message that I want to share today is how important the toolbox is to carry and be mindful of at all times. I'm eager to see the skits. I put something together and I want to share it now, but I can also go through it later. And it has to do with verbal rage, right? Because I grew up in a dysfunctional home. Having grown up in a dysfunctional home during my impressionable years, I witnessed a lot of verbal rage, physical rage, and emotional rage that really traumatized me and impacted my life, that caused me to go abroad and do the things and behave the way I behaved and do the things that I did, and that I'm so sorry and remorseful for. I deeply regret those things. I deeply regret being here in prison. I deeply regret my criminality because being a criminal is shameful and embarrassing. It is. Being a criminal is shameful and embarrassing, and this is how I feel, and I want the world to know. You know, I am so done with this. When a person experiences verbal rage, how damage is done, and after our impressionable years, it's a lethal weapon. Verbal rage has power. When you say things you know that will hurt a person, when you say things that will belittle a person, trying to strip a person of their dignity, it's not your cursing the person, it is your big mouth that's a deadly concealed weapon. I had that kind of a mouth that I learned growing up during my impressionable years in a dysfunctional environment. It first begun in the home. The physical rage had to do with what I learned and how I later expressed it, how I saw it. I got angry and stayed angry longer than the incident lasted, for example. Things have happened to me since I have been in prison where I have gotten angry before coming into GOGI and stayed angry longer than the incident itself lasted, and then carried that anger and took it out on somebody else. The emotional rage is an inner war against self. I carried a lot of emotional rage that clouded my thinking and my judgment that forced me into actions that I later regretted. The emotional rage affected and impacted my inner peace, so much to the point to whereas my soul was not comfortable. I shut down. I didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to be bothered with people. I became a locked door. And this is when, later, when GOGI came around, I realized, hey, I had abandoned myself. Before I was introduced to being the boss of my own mind and doing things contrary to being the boss of my own brain, nothing good was coming out from me. Nothing good. Because I had abandoned my real self. And I welcomed a false self and a lost self to take control over my being. But it's amazing how money has an impact in our economy, in our personal lives. And no matter where money comes from or how it is earned, it seems like, I would say that during my criminal thinking years, it was as though the dirty money was clean money. The dirty money was clean money. No matter how dirty the money was clean and beautiful and pure and good. But later I discovered that money is not everything. Money was not really what I needed in my life. And it was, what I needed in my life was something for my soul, you know, because my soul was crying out to me, you know, for good that I wasn't given to it. With reality check and using the tools of GOGI, an objective I read and discovered that has to do with reality check does not mean that when you make mistakes, you're not successful. Reality check permits you to be the boss and recover from your bad decisions quickly. So when I give myself a reality check to recover from my bad decisions and my bad choices quickly, then I realize that, hey, I can get right back on track, you know, by claiming responsibility. And there are other tools to use also. With that, I'll leave you with that for now, and hopefully I can come back and share some more later. Thank you for listening. And thank you.